Hey everybody, welcome to the first Coffee with Lydia. I'm Lydia and this is my coffee in one of my favorite mugs, by the way, from my husband. And he got it for me for my birthday, I think. But anyway, I'll admit that this is kind of really weird for me because, well, first of all, I'm using the camera on my computer, and so that explains why it's not that great of quality. I don't have a great camera. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I'm supposed to be looking at myself on the screen or if I should be looking at the little camera dot thing, but we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out someday. Anyway, kind of weird. And I'll admit I feel really awkward with my first vlog. Weird. But anyway, the Coffee with Lydia post is just a time when you guys ask me questions and I answer them to my best ability. And I didn't try to think through the questions at all before answering them. So this is going to just really be kind of like a time where, as if we were sitting down, drinking coffee together, and just I answer any questions that you might have. And I actually got some questions from you guys. Excuse you. The first one I got was, what made you want to start blogging? Well, I started blogging a couple years ago, and honestly, when I married a Marine, I got moved completely away from family, and it was, I started blogging because it was just kind of an opportunity to keep in touch with them without calling every single day, I guess you could say. And that way my entire family could just keep in touch with what's going on in our lives, and what's going on with their grandkids, and sorry, my brain just pooped out. And I just love writing, to be honest. So writing and keeping in touch with family, and then it just kind of grew from there, and now I've got people who follow my blog, and it's fun, and I enjoy it, and I like sharing, you know, stuff about our lives and our projects and everything with you guys, so it's fun. So yeah. The next question was, with 3 busy little guys around, where do you find the time and energy to work on the do-it-yourself projects you've created for your home? Time. Well, I don't sleep. I never sleep. Okay, I do sleep a little bit, but I feel like I never sleep. Honestly, like, it's all about scheduling, and I try to make sure I schedule everything, and man, I feel like I'm coming across really, like, I don't know, everything's coming across jumbled because this is really weird for me to be sitting in front of a camera. I'll get used to it, but just bear with me. It's really honestly scheduling, and a lot of the projects that we do for our home, honestly, like, my husband and I like to do together. Like, I mean, the pots and pans rack that you see behind us and behind me. It's a lot of it is just stuff that my husband and I enjoy doing together, and so we usually wait until the boys are in bed, and then that's kind of like something we do together, and then we'll build something or work on something for a little bit, and then we'll come inside and hang out and go to bed, go to sleep. Well, he goes to sleep. I stay up and work on my blog, or do my devotions or something. But really, honestly, like, how do I find the time to do this stuff? Like, a schedule. Like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I work on, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is like kind of the times when I post a blog post. So I'll work on those the night before. And then on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I work on stuff for my shops so that I can have them ready and stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays or whatever. And honestly, and like Sunday is like my day off. I try to make sure I take a day off on Sunday, and but everything has a schedule, and above all, I try to make sure I have time for my kids. And I don't want them to feel like that I did not have a presence in their lives. So the first part of the day, I mean, as soon as we wake up, like, I make them breakfast. We eat breakfast together. And then And then usually I'll put in like a movie or something for like an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on how messy the house is. And I use that time to clean the house. And then afterwards, then the boys and I just spend time together, whether it's going to a park or playing with toys or something. And then we'll eat lunch and Isaac goes down for a nap. And then that's usually Isaac's nap time. Isaac and Josh will go down for a nap. And during that time, like Ian and I will get to spend a little more quality time together. And so I guess that's kind of where I find the time. Usually most of the work happens after the boys are in bed. And that's just the way it is. And hence why I never get any sleep. And energy? Well, coffee. I love, 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 love coffee, if you haven't figured that out. Most of my days are spent in pajamas and very minimal makeup. Like right now I'm wearing very minimal makeup. It's like mascara and blush and that's about it. And I hardly ever do my hair. Like this is not done. This is not done. This was a result of, I had it in a messy ponytail, messy bun, and then I just pulled it down for the video. Like usually my life, I live in a messy bun. So I don't take much time for making myself look good. I guess I should probably spend more time on that. But other than that, I don't know. I just make sure my kids and my husband get the attention that they need, and then a lot of stuff happens after they're in bed. And I try to make sure I have time for God, you know, and that's the most important. Yeah. I have 2 more questions. I'm so sorry for all the ums. All of you English and speech people out there are probably going, oh my goodness, Lydia, yeah, sorry. The next question is, what's different about being a full-time military wife rather than a wife of a reservist or a civilian? My goodness. Hold on. Josh was he's trying to overrun my video here. Okay, so what's different about being a full-time military wife rather than the wife of a reservist or a civilian? Well, I guess just with being a full-time military wife, you know, you're always 100% involved with what's going on in the military. And you know, you always have that possibility of your husband being gone for deployment or something, or being gone a lot. But honestly, like, I know of a lot of civilian families who the wives deal with their husbands being gone a lot. And in my personal opinion, it doesn't matter if he's gone for days for a conference or months for deployment. It's hard. Like, it's hard being without your husband. So in my opinion, there's not much of a difference. And okay, you know, a civilian wife might not have to have the worry, you know, that there's a definite possibility that her husband could lose his life doing whatever he's doing. But I mean, there's always a possibility of death, whether you're deployed or not, or whether you're in the military or not. There's just, I guess, more of a possibility in the military. And as far as a reservist, with reservists, from what I understand, they basically live like a normal life, kind of like a civilian life, and then they just every month or couple of months they leave and for training for a little while, and then they come back home, and so they basically live kind of more of a civilian life. It's just they do have to leave for training on occasion, and a reservist can be called up for a deployment, or they can opt to do a deployment, from what I understand. Like, don't take my word for it. And so I guess the difference, being a full-time military wife, you know, being a full-time military wife, like, obviously you are going to have to live wherever the Marine Corps or Army or whatever sends you, and you don't really have a choice in the matter. I mean, except, okay, you usually have like your 3 options. If you're going to end up moving, you can say, okay, this is where we would like to go. If we don't get that, we'd like to go here. If we don't get that, we'd like to go here. But you're not guaranteed to even get those 3 options. But usually, they try to consider those 3 options. And so I guess that's the main difference between being a full-time military wife as opposed to a reservist or a civilian, is you can't really choose where you live. I mean, the military chooses that for you. And you don't really have too much of a choice in the matter. And that can be hard. And, and then there's also the choice of whether living on base or living out in town. And, so there's that. I mean, and obviously that's a big difference compared to civilian life. Civilians don't live like on a, on a base, a military base. But, so there's a different kind of camaraderie with the people you live with. To go along with that, there was another question. What's different about being a Marine wife rather than the other branches? I guess the main difference is the deployments. Well, there's 2 big differences. One is the deployments. A Marine, the Marines usually only deploy for about 7 or 8 months. Sometimes, depending on what job they're in, they will deploy for like a year. But they usually only deploy for about 7 months, and then after that deployment, they'll come home for hopefully a year before deploying again. The other branches like Army, and Air Force, Navy kind of runs the same deployments as the Marines, and Coast Guard, I'm not quite sure. I don't know too much about Coast Guard, but I know like Army and Air Force, like usually their deployments are, correct me if I'm wrong, if you are married to someone in one of those other branches, their deployments are usually about a year long, and they get to come home halfway through the deployment for like a 2-week R&R. And, but their deployments are about like a year long, and, but they're not as often from what I understand. But, trying to think. Not sure I know too much more about like the deployment part. And like I said, if you're the wife of one of the other branches, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a Marine wife, so I'm going to know what the Marines do. And I'm not married to a soldier or an airman or a Coast Guardsman or a sailor. So, but another thing that is different is, another one of the biggest differences is that the Marines don't have as many duty stations, and that's kind of, duty stations are places where they can send you. The Marine Corps really only has like, 4? They can either send you to California, to North Carolina, to Virginia, Japan, or Hawaii, 5. So there's not that many duty stations, whereas opposed to like all the other branches, they can pretty much go anywhere. Like their duty stations are, some like the Army has like a duty station in almost like every state, from what I understand. And so you can have duty stations pretty much anywhere and have a lot of options to choose from. With the Marine Corps, there's not very many options, and so I guess that would be the other biggest difference between being a Marine wife as opposed to being the wife of someone in another branch. But there's not that much difference. I mean, among all the military wives, we're all military wives. And in every branch, there is a camaraderie amongst all the military wives for the most part. And we're all there for each other. And we uphold each other and help each other, and we do our best, and we all try to stay strong, and we get excited for each other, we get sad together. It's just a big support system, and no matter what branch you're in, you've got that camaraderie, and so there's really not much of a difference there. Honestly, the biggest differences are just, you know, specific to the branch, and that's, you know, the type of deployments that they go on, and how long they last, and where you move to, and you know, that's the biggest difference. I mean, I guess there's also difference in rank, you know, the way they do ranking and everything, but that doesn't have any bearing on the wives, you know, from branch to branch. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to answer for that one, and that's all the questions. And I just want to thank you all for submitting your questions and for sitting down with me and having coffee with me. And I haven't really been drinking my coffee because I've been talking the whole time, and trying to keep this one quiet. Josh, are you gonna come say hi? Hold on. Okay, make a little appearance in my video. And here's our little Joshua. He's a little over 4 months old now. Joshua, look. Look. Hi. Are you gonna smile? Oh, he kind of gave a half smile. Do you see the baby? Do you see the baby? There you are. There's the baby. You know, you kind of look like your Aunt Liz when you smile like that. She's probably going to kill me for saying that. There's the baby. Yes, I had to include my child in the video, but I mean, he was getting kind of cranky anyway, so I was going to have to bring him up. But anyway, well, I thank you for joining me for Coffee with Lydia, and if you have any more questions, other things you would like to know, and I'll try not to make my answers sound so, like, I don't know. I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Mommy brain has caught me, but I don't know. I'll try to make it sound more casual. I feel like the way I answer some of these questions is kind of like la 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 la, and that's really not not me. I feel like such an idiot. Anyway, so thank you for joining me, and if you have any other questions, feel free to email me at andthismarinewife@gmail.com, and I would love to answer any more questions that you might have. Thank you. Say bye. Bye, Joshua. Bye. And he's totally not paying attention. Anyway, bye everyone, and join me next time, hopefully next month in July.